everybody, and welcome back to another video. It is race day and I'm super excited. We've got a lot of new changes lined up with the kart and a brand new track layout that we're going to be racing this weekend. So we're getting to the track nice and early today so we can get prepared and get ready to race tonight. Everything is already loaded up into the truck, so let's head out to the track. Hey, so welcome to the track. We're now at Hill Country Kart Club, and it looks like there's some great attendance this weekend, and there's a lot of cool stuff hanging around the paddock. So far, we've seen 2 NASCARs and 1 miniature NASCAR car, which I'll show you right now. So take a look at these. That's pretty cool. So now we're just waiting on our motor to put it on the kart and we can try to get some practice. In the meantime though, let me keep you up to date on what changes we made before we came to the track today. The main repair we made over the last week was changing the rear bearings. So this is a huge change for us. It was a really tough repair. Was not expecting it to be as hard as it was, but if you saw on my Instagram, it was a lengthy repair but a fun one, and it's gonna pay off because this is a huge time suck on our old bearings. Anyway, these bearings are nice and smooth and should serve us well today. The last change I made was replacing these fuel lines and a new fuel filter. This should help with the cleanliness of the fuel going into the engine so it doesn't clog up the carb. We had issues with that before, but now it shouldn't be an issue. So once we get the engine back, we plan to put in a different sprocket. We are geared way too tall for the track, so we're going to get some more torque, some more speed out of the corners, and hopefully that should help with our pace on track. So welcome back. The drivers meeting just ended, which means it's time for our after practice recap. This afternoon I had a great time learning the new track, just getting my footing on the new layout and trying to make up as much time as possible. Once I had learned the track to the best of my abilities, I really tried to mess with the setup to try to get those extra tenths down. The first changes that we made was obviously with the sprocket, as you saw earlier, knocking it up a tooth so that we have a little bit more torque in these turns. Secondly, I messed with the tire pressures a little bit. The tires were getting a little too hot too fast, so I brought them down to around 25, and that seemed to do the trick and gained a couple tenths on track. And finally, the last change that I made was with the camber in the front, added a little bit of negative so that the front can really dig into some of the sharper turns. With these changes, I'm only about a half a second off of what would be considered a really fast race pace, so I'm really excited for the qualifying and race because I really feel like I can make up some time and actually be competitive in the pack. So it's looking good, and I will see you in qualifying.
So, unfortunately the camera had an issue and didn't record qualifying or the pre-final, but there's some awesome footage from the final, so stick around to see that.
Hey, so welcome back from qualifying. I qualified 4th with a 43 flat. I'm super excited to be starting the second row. Yeah, that's really all I can say. I'm really happy with the improvements that we made, and it really has paid off. So I'm really excited for the race, and let's go to race 1. All right, so I just came in from the pre-final, and boy, what a race it was. I ended up maintaining 4th place. Me and John were battling a lot throughout the whole race, but ended up behind him and finished in 4th. So great position, didn't lose any, didn't gain any. That's all right. We'll have a good starting position for the final. I'm just really excited and having a blast out there. Unfortunately, the Insta360 on the kart stopped recording in the middle of it and corrupted the file. So I don't know if I'm gonna have any race footage for you from that, so I apologize in advance. We're working on trying to get the footage back, but it's not looking good. So hopefully it'll record for the final, and I'll have the GoPro on the side of the kart just in case it also stops recording again. All right, it's time for the final. I will see you out on track.
All right, so here we are for the final race of the night. Luckily the camera did record, so we have all the footage coming out of the pits. Ooh, with cold tires, we just get around there. Hand up for safety, make sure nobody hits us from behind, and luckily John was alright from that. Shenanigans exiting the pits, but we all make it out good and well. So here we go. We're going to be starting 4th, which is on the right side here at Hill Country Kart Club on the 2nd row. And you can see that barrier to the left, that white barrier, that's where we usually go on the normal layout. But instead, we're going to be taking a right down this section and enter this chicane, which has a curb there to the left, a bigger curb here to the right, and then we rejoin the track here with this left hook section, entering what would be the normal layout with this left-hand turn. And now we're just basically on the normal layout that you guys are used to seeing. So here we go for the race start, and the green flag is out, and we're racing. Here we go around the outside, and I'm gonna pause it already because we are loose and offline, so that's gonna really affect our run down the straight. We just sent it a little too deep with the cold tires. You can see we don't have a lot of track to work with on the right side, so we're just gonna try our best to hold our line, and we get a little loosey-goosey there, but we're all right going down into this turn, and wow, we're round and hit from the side, and now we're grounded on this curb trying to hop off, and we just barely make it out of there. Okay, so not happy with that. We lost a lot of positions, so let's go ahead and take a replay of what happened. Here's the initial spin. Could have been a lockup. We also very possibly could have gotten hit from behind. You can see my rear bumper is right there. It's kind of hard to see on the camera, but like I'm pretty sure we could have gotten hit, but you never really know. So we'll just leave that to you to decide. And here we go. We get T-boned a little bit here. Luckily it didn't pop up over because that would have been very bad. And now we're grounded on that curb, just trying our best to hop off and get on our way. So again, pretty disappointed with that incident. Classic turn 1 or lap 1 incident, but let's go ahead and take another look at what happened behind us. So here's that initial spin, and then the initial hit, and then here we are. You can see one kart is backwards, the other one is facing backwards. That's Taran. And then if we zoom in right here, we can see that almost everyone behind us is facing the wrong direction. You can see he's popped up off the ground a little bit, and then if we point here, well, you don't want to see a kart going over the top. You can see his head full sideways, and luckily, thank goodness, he landed right side up, and everyone was okay from that incident. I am sure a little bit shooken up, but everyone was okay, which is the main priority. Some karts were definitely damaged, but safety is number 1. So here we go, trying just to finish out this lap. Not quite sure what happened behind because obviously we're facing the other direction, but at this point we can see waving and red flags, so they're going to go ahead and stop the race just to make sure everyone is okay and clear the track just because of the nature of that incident. So at this point we're supposed to stop, maintain our position, and make sure that safety is the number 1 priority. And what you doing? So bro moment here as he slides around the outside and gets a very cheeky overtake on us two into this red flag stop. So I didn't even notice it when we were out on track, but of course looking back on the video it's very obvious, so not cool, but I don't know. Anyway, so that happened. So now we're just waiting on the restart so we can get going racing again. Alright, so here we are for the race restart after the red flag. We're starting pretty far down on the grid, somewhere between 8th and 10th. I forget really where we started. So coming into this little hairpin here, probably the best I took it all weekend on the warm-up lap. Love to see it. So just trying to get the tires all warmed up, ready to go for the race restart, head back in the game, and ready to go to try to make up as many positions as possible. So here we are. Starting on the outside again, and the green flag is out, and we're trying not to make the same mistake as last time, so we make sure to take it nice and slow. And you can see car 53 just exploding out ahead. So again, that's that gear ratio. Look at the front bumper, we get a little tangled up there, but luckily we make it out okay. And you can see it guy slides down the inside a bit, and we're all kind of all over the place on the straight. We're gonna choose the inside, just follow him through, and ooh, we get him a little sideways there. Not happy about that, understandably. I didn't quite expect him to slow down as much as he did through that corner, but again, it's my responsibility not to hit him, so that's my bad. Coming through the back section of the track here, you can see he makes a move down the inside. Great move there, and that means we're going to make up a lot of time here on the 65 kart coming into this right-hander. And now we're just going to try to look for a spot to overtake as we start another lap. So here we go into this hairpin. We get alongside him, and again, he just explodes away. So again, I think that has to do something about the gear ratio. I think we're still a little too tall, at least for this layout. With all these tight turns, it's a pretty technical track. You can see Kart coming up our inside here, but we're just going to be able to defend around the outside and hold on to that position for now. So heading into this new section of the track with this left-hander, right-hander, you can see we're gaining a ton of time, and ooh, little love tap there, and that unfortunately sends him a little bit into the grass, and that's going to set us up really nicely to make the overtake down the inside, but obviously we kind of bumped him out, so not quite the best way to do that, but we had to get past. So here we go. Now we've got a pack pretty far ahead, and we're under some pressure from behind, but at this point we're just going to try to nail these laps out and catch the guys in front. So as we come up to the sweeping right here at the end of the straight, we'll be entering that new section of the track. You guys can see what it looks like at full speed. So coming here, we go to the right, and then we take this curve to the left, curve to the right, and then rejoin the regular layout, and there we go. So that's what we call the Silverstone layout here at Hill Country Kart Club, and it's pretty fun. It's a little bit hard if you can't get it completely right, but keep it nice and tidy and you should be good. So here we can see we get a little bit off, and the guy behind goes way off. I think we both clipped the curb there, but luckily we both make it out, and we're just cruising. So you can see the two behind, they're right on my bumper, but they're also fighting, so it kind of gives me a chance to build a little bit of a gap. But of course they are right there, so as we can see going into this hairpin, he gets a really good run on me out of the corner, and you can see he's pulling to the left, so we're going to try our best to defend on the inside. And here he goes, moving here, and I'm going to freeze it because I did something here that you should never do, which is kind of twitching on your line. You can see I have a lot of room to work with on the right there, so there's no reason I should be moving on my line. So really dangerous, and definitely learned my lesson the easy way, not the hard way, for that. So definitely don't do that. Here comes John up the inside. Great move there, almost kind of closing me off there, but I think that was just part of the move. So great stuff from him, double overtake up into that corner, and now we're just going to be able to make this move stick, or at least keep our position from the guy behind for now. But you can see John has just built a massive gap already, so we're going to try our best to keep up with him, and we get that corner just all wrong, send it a little too deep, but luckily we make it out of there without any issues for now. So I'm going to throw it into a time lapse here, so just enjoy me lapping these laps out, and we'll get right back to the action in a few moments. Alright, so breaking out of the time lapse, we can see we've made up a little bit of time on John, and here he goes down the inside on us, and just gets onto the inside of us and spins off a bit. So unfortunately for him, that means he's kind of out of the contention for this place, but it also means we're free from pressure from behind, so we can just focus on the race ahead. Alright, so skipping to pretty far into the race, we've now caught right up to John as he is hitting some back markers. So this is pretty exciting, as it's a possible opportunity for us to gain back all that time. You can see the white flag being waved, so this is the final lap, and we're right on him, so he's being held up here. So we're going to try to follow him through, and again, just not on the brakes soon enough, just plowing straight into him. So that one was completely my fault. So sorry about that, John. I'll get better at that. So moving on, you can see because we kind of propelled him ahead, that that time gain was pretty much negated. So always learning, still very new, so learning, and we'll continue to learn. So here we go, crossing the checkered flag, and that is an 8th place finish. So starting 4th, and after that first incident, obviously did not go as planned. That's alright, I had a blast. This race was really fun. I got a lot of good racing against other people, so let's see what I had to say. Alright, so it's time for a recap of the night. That final was wild. It was pretty much a brawl. You guys saw all that happened.
That first lap incident, just really unlucky. Luckily, everybody was okay. And continuing on, just had a really great race. I had a ton of fun. And tonight showed that we've got the kart up to spec. And now we're just nailing down that consistency and just getting better and better. We saw a lot of improvement today. I just want to wrap it up by giving you a big thank you, all of my wonderful subscribers. We've been growing super fast, and I really appreciate each and every one of you. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can keep up to date with my latest video. That's pretty much it from me. I'm gonna call it a night, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.